Okay, so GenAI is everywhere, right? And so is the advice on what skills you need to land a job. But with all the hype, it's tough to figure out what's real and what's just, well, noise. So today, we're going to cut through all of that and look at what companies are actually putting in their job descriptions. Let's just dive right in.
And look, this comes straight from the folks at Dallas Data Science Academy, who work with people trying to get jobs in this space every single day. The takeaway here is pretty clear. Employers don't want flashy buzzwords on a resume. They want practical, business-focused skills.
All right, so that's the million-dollar question, isn't it? If companies don't want AI philosophers, what are they looking for? Well, we dug into the job postings and found 5 core skills that pop up again and again.
First up, number 1. This is the big one. It's the absolute foundation for pretty much everything else we're going to talk about today.
So yeah, this is basically prompt engineering, but for the real world. It's not about making cool art or writing poetry. It's all about efficiency. Can you ask the AI to take a messy pile of information and turn it into something clean, structured, and actually useful, like a report or a summary? That's the real goal.
And this example? It just nails the point. This isn't some theoretical exercise. It's a real-world prompt that saves a project manager or a developer actual time and stops things from slipping through the cracks. It's all about direct business value.
Okay, so once you've got a handle on creating structured documents, the next logical step is to do it at scale. And that brings us right to skill number 2, using AI for speed and automation.
You're starting to see the pattern here? The focus is all on internal, business stuff, communication, documentation. Companies want people who can use AI to get the boring work done faster, which, frees up human brainpower for the harder problems. It's all about operational efficiency. I mean, check this out, another perfect example. Taking some raw notes and boom, instantly turning them into a properly formatted, shareable document for the whole team. A simple prompt like this can save hours every week. Now that is a skill an employer can immediately see the value in. All right, so we've talked about structuring info and automating tasks. Skill number 3 moves us beyond just documents and into the world of data. Now here's the crucial thing you really need to get. You don't have to be some PhD-level data scientist for this. It's about using AI as a thinking partner. Think of it like looking at a dashboard and asking the AI to help you make sense of it, to brainstorm ideas, or maybe spot things you might have missed. I mean, how powerful is that? You're still in the driver's seat, right? You're applying your business knowledge and your critical thinking. The AI is just acting as your tireless analyst, instantly generating a few potential ideas for you to go and investigate further.
Okay, using AI as your personal brainstorming partner is awesome. But skill number 4 is about taking that power and scaling it up for the whole team by making AI part of your everyday routine.
Now this might sound a little intimidating, but it's way more accessible than you think. And trust me, employers get really excited when you can show that you've thought beyond just using a tool by yourself and you've actually plugged it into a real process. And you can see right here just how simple a workflow can actually be. A lot of the time, it's just about connecting tools you already use, like Google Sheets, to an AI to automate some repetitive task. That's a practical, repeatable solution you could literally show off in an interview. All right, and that brings us to number 5, our final skill. And honestly, this one might be the most important of all, because it's less about what you do with AI and more about how you think about it. This right here is what separates the beginners from the pros. I mean, anybody can get an answer from an AI, but a truly skilled candidate knows when to trust that answer, when to double-check it, and, maybe most importantly, when not to use AI at all. That shows maturity. It shows you're a critical thinker.
Look, if you can confidently talk about these key risks, you are going to stand out instantly. You need to know about hallucination, which is where the AI just makes stuff up. You need to know about bias, where it just repeats skewed data. And of course, the huge privacy risks of sending it sensitive company information. Just knowing this vocabulary shows you've done your homework.
So look, just messing around with these tools, that's a fantastic start. But to get really good at this stuff, confident enough to put it on a resume and talk about it in an interview, you really need a more organized, structured approach. And that's where a structured learning approach really makes a difference. The insights for this whole explainer came from our work with the Dallas Data Science Academy. And their model gives us a great example of how you can turn that experimentation into job-ready expertise.
So what should you look for? Well, a good structured program is always going to focus on hands-on practice with real business problems.
You should be looking for programs where you're building actual projects, earning certifications that employers actually recognize, and getting direct help translating all those new skills for your resume and, of course, for your interviews.
So if you're serious about moving beyond just playing with prompts and you want to start building a career, this is the kind of focused approach that gets results. You can check out their bootcamps or even just join a free info session to learn more. So there you have it, the top 5 skills companies are actually hiring for. They're practical, they're business-focused, and they're totally achievable. The only real question left is, what are you going to do to master them? What's your first move?